Not enough nonsense in your life? Need a little more? Well, get ready, because these two have it in spades. Loose talk.
What are you talking about? Nonsense.
Even looser opinions.
Please explain.
And you're along for the ride.
Everybody strap in!
This is The Burble with Benny and Az.
Hello. Welcome back to The Burble.
Hi, kids.
I'm Benny.
I'm Az.
It's good to have your company. Just to let you know, from our previous episode, the lawyers have stepped in, the lawyers for The Burble, and said, look, owning a root shop's probably not the best thing for you guys at this point in time, so I'd probably just knock that off. I wouldn't be talking about that.
So don't knock it up, just knock it off.
Don't knock it up, knock anyone else up, knock it off. Just completely knock it off. So
What about a rub and tug? You reckon we should start smaller?
Oh, I don't know. That's a slippery situation.
But we could change it a little bit. We could give unhappy endings.
Now, we talked about this last week. We
I
get
know.
the Greens to come in and talk about, the state of Australia, the environment and all that
The
kind of
economy,
thing.
you'll never own a house.
Exactly.
You'll never own a house.
This is The Burble. Thank you very much for joining us. Don't forget, of course, you can subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts. We are there also as well. You can find us on Spreaker. They're our podcast partner. They've got their own app as well, so you can download it and get it. Now, we are also on iHeartRadio. We're on the YouTube. You can also follow us on Facebook. We're on Twitter as well. I think we've got an Instagram. We're going to have a talk about Instagram coming up soon because it went down and everyone lost their minds. And we're also on Castbox now, Az.
What is Castbox?
Castbox is a partner that's come on and said, yes, we'll share your podcast all around the world as well. So we do thank them. And also Google Podcasts. We are officially there now. We are there. We are on it.
We've been vetted, have we?
Your work never got started, but it's been done. So that is where we are. You can find us everywhere. On the podcast, Az, look, me and you don't mind a bit of Texas Hold'em poker. It's one of those great things to play. But the world's sexiest poker player has gone and got electrocuted. She's been found dead of a suspected massive electric shock in her bedroom. We'll tell you what happened. A 34-year-old woman over in, I believe it was England, Az, had to be cut free from a toddler's plastic car with a bread knife.
The, what do you call it?
We're having a look at a picture of her right there. There is footage of her stuck in this car.
The congestion tax is just getting out of hand over there, Benny.
It is. Now, Az, remember when the milk used to be delivered door to door?
I do.
It still does get delivered door to door in a lot of places around the world, particularly over in the UK. Someone's been pinching old mate's milk. Now,
Well, that's not on.
you don't touch another man's milk.
No.
So this bloke has decided to get revenge on this guy in a rather unique fashion.
Did he stab him with a shattered milk pint bottle, or?
No. I think it's much better than that.
Oh, okay.
I know that violence is your go-to to solve any issues whatsoever. This is why we didn't take you anywhere when we went on school excursions to, say, Parliament House.
I got through the Parliament House one. We got banned at
Wonderland.
No, I wasn't the one left behind at Wonderland. Believe it or not.
But we still got banned.
Yeah, we did get banned.
Yeah,
but the one, the Powerhouse Museum never wanted us back.
Why is that?
There was an incident with an elevator and some exhibits.
Okay. Yeah, we won't go too much on that. Also, Az, I'm a little annoyed. Now, listen, we mentioned this lady's name last week on the podcast, who is one of Australia's best people to sing the Australian National Anthem. Okay?
Oh.
But I want to go back into some of her earlier work, and I'm not happy about it.
What do you mean?
It doesn't make sense to me.
She's a national treasure.
She could be. Where is she now? She's a national treasure. Where is she?
She's about 400 years old now. She was old when we were the kids.
So what did you do? Put her in the elevator at the Powerhouse?
Well, then maybe.
That's all coming up on The Burble.
This is The Burble with Benny and Az.
Look at this dumb bitch.
Now, Az doesn't mean that about everybody, but this story we just had to start off with. A woman somehow has managed to get herself wedged into a toddler's plastic ride-on little Tykes car. You know the ones I'm talking about. It's got the red base with the really large, yellow cover on the top.
Oh, they're a staple of kids, aren't they? Like every child you know has got at least one of those.
You had your dinky, and then you had one of these. Well,
and
anyway,
they're indestructible too. Like they last forever out in the rain and the wind and the.
Well, this is why we're bringing it up. Zoe Archibald, who's 34, climbed into the toy for a joke, but she ended up getting so stuck that there was no way out of the car. We're looking at a photo here now.
Toy Story 5's gotten dark, bro.
She tried to wiggle free for an hour, but in the end, the whole car had to be sacrificed to set her free. Now, her dad used a bread knife to saw through the plastic chassis and free her. Now, we can't imagine how the car's owner feels about this.
I don't know.
But at least it teaches them, though, that if they're in an accident one day, the jaws of life are going to need to be used.
Yeah, well, they've got a convertible now.
That's true.
Drop top.
Exactly. Coolest kid in the street.
Absolutely.
Who wants one of those? Well, her nephew, who filmed her release, said that there was no way she could get herself out. She is stuck in there. Look at her father. Now,
He's just laughing. He's like, you dunce.
this is the kind of guy that you do not want to get a lift in a
You
state
wouldn't leave him
forest
alone
with.
with your kids either, would you?
Just look at her. Like,
Look, she's defeated in that photo, isn't she? She's just got her head down, her arms down. She's just like...
she was in there for an hour, and they had to cut the back off the car to get it out. Now, no matter what we did, she wasn't able to get out. So everyone found it funny, even her. But she got a little panicked. And so the best thing that they could find was a bread knife. Now, I can see behind him there's a drill.
At least he had eye protection. I can see the goggles there too.
We're going to get this. We'll get this image up onto our Facebook page so you can have a look at this dunce, this absolute dunce. Now she's look at her. Like, why would she try and get into that kind of thing? She's got no shoes on, but here it is. The back's been cut off, and she's sort of getting out of it. But there she is, free. Doing the whole.
Now for our international viewers,
hang on a minute? Couldn't they have just snapped the top of it off?
Yeah, well,
No. Now, where's is it ASADA that does, who does the safety stuff for cars? ANSTAR and
ANCAP.
ANCAP. So where's the ANCAP rating on this? I want to know where the ANCAP rating is on this car.
what, on a little Tykes car?
On a little Tykes car. You want to hear exactly what it sounded like? This is the video audio of her stuck in this car. I'm going to play it, okay? It goes for a couple of minutes. Here we go. I'm just going to bring this up now.
No. You videoed me. No, Leah, because you've just video stick on Facebook. I'm literally unstuck.
Yeah, I swear down on us. I won't do that to you.
I'm really...
Are they Welsh?
Okay, so
This sounds Welsh.
for our viewers, listeners, subscribers in the
Shoppers,
UK,
yeah.
shoppers, she's what's called a chav.
Let's continue.
I'm stuck. I want to go down.
I love how the doors open as well. Just one, not both doors.
No,
just the
only one door opens on this model.
Oh, it's the GL model.
Screws in this.
Shut up. Oh, that looks dubious.
I love how
Look at me, I'm stuck in this.
Come back.
I love how the cow's just smiling. It's just like, you're mine. Oh,
Right, you'll be able to get out now. You've got a bit of flexibility.
What are you wearing?
Come on, doesn't this thing just pop off at the bottom? Get out
yeah.
Stop.
get out the door, you dumb.
Oh, wait.
Take your seatbelt off. Oh, that's it. Dad's just shoving her head through the hole there. That's great.
Yeah, he's worked as a bobby. Look, the back just pops off. They don't need to cut it.
Oh no, that's a ribbit. I can't undo it.
I can't get the head back. Get it. I'm not... Can you help me?
That's the most amazing outfit I've ever seen.
It'll be on the catwalk in Milan next year for sure.
Oh, my God.
She's too sexy for this stupidity. She's in
I
a
wanna see her take
She's
a
trying to
tumble.
sit down now. She's
Got
managed.
wheels, you dunce.
Now she's covering her head in shame. I would have done that from 3.
Get them away! No, Kevin, you
Oh, I'll be
cut that.
cutting away from you.
You better be. I mean it.
Or what? What are you going to do?
It kind of looks like an outtake from Shameless, really, doesn't it?
I'd love to see you get the shits and then go haymaker wearing this thing.
Well, it's kind of like body armour.
Well, you couldn't punch her from behind.
Cutting that because if it's going towards me, I'm
Well, that's true.
They are cutting it. Listen to that.
Yeah, he's hoofing through that with a bread knife.
We're back tomorrow.
How long did it take to saw?
No shit.
There you go.
And look,
Oh,
it
and then
came apart!
It just popped apart. You've got to be kidding me.
Wow.
There you go. So she's gotten stuck in that. But they said a woman in the actual description. That's not a woman. She don't work.
No.
She doesn't work.
No, she's waiting for a gyro. Look, honestly, though, they did come from the shallow end of the gene pool, those guys.
Yeah.
But funny.
Yeah.
Funny. I was hoping for an emergency room, but maybe in another story.
Well,
we'll get
that
there.
almost could have been an emergency room. You know what? If Al Pacino was here, he would say,
What?
"Oh, funny."
This is The Burble with Benny and Az.
If we're going to knock anybody on this program, and I don't mean, I mean like, if we're going to have a go, a gentle rub, maybe not a gentle rub, but if we're just going to have a slighting glance at somebody, we do it all in mirth. You know,
Yeah.
in mirth.
Take the piss.
Not like last week where Tim Cook, for example, the head of Apple's taking the piss with the price of their brand new computer equipment.
Well, he's stood though. He hasn't backed down.
He won't back down. They don't need to back down. Everyone just wants to bow down at the god that is Apple, so to speak. But anyway, listen, Az. Now, back in 1991, a commercial was made for a financial institution here in Australia. Okay. And at the time, I didn't realise that I wanted to move into the advertising world in terms of radio and stuff like that.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, I knew I wanted to perform on there, but I didn't know the nuances of commercials and how they're made and all that kind of thing. I've not been the only two songs in advertising terms that I've really latched onto was the Hard Yakka, because I used to love those ads, and the Victoria Bitter commercials.
Oh, yeah.
How does that happen? You know those ones.
What about 1300 655
I can't read that. So anyway, there's a commercial that came out. Now, Julie Anthony is a national treasure.
Cool. Our Julie Anthony.
Our Julie Anthony. She only gets wheeled out when the national anthem needs to be really sung, which I don't understand why it isn't every sporting event, because they've had some shockers sing the national anthem, State of Origin, grand finals. I mean, it can't be as bad as Meatloaf when he turned up to do his performance.
That was pretty ordinary.
That was very terrible. But the Olympics, where it counted, the Sydney 2000 Olympic Games where it counted, not only did they use Julie Anthony to sing that national anthem, she sang the second verse. She didn't sing the
second verse.
The ill-forgotten...
Beneath Our Radiant Southern Cross.
No,
Toil with hearts
that's
and
the
hands.
second one.
Yes.
The third one I'm talking about.
Oh, the third verse.
They didn't do
Going
the third
deep.
verse. But what they also did is they intertwined
Wasn't it
Julie
Strawberry
Anthony...
Kisses
No,
from-
shut up. Let me tell the story. Human Nature kicked it off, and then Julie Anthony kicked it home.
Right.
Okay? Now, do you remember in the late 80s and 90s, Julie Anthony, that's all they used, her and that polystyrene green dragon to advertise the bank.
Yes, I do.
Now, at the time back then, I'm just thinking, you know what? I don't really understand what hook they're going for on this particular ad, but I'm going to play back an ad from 1991. This is for St. George Bank. Okay.
Right.
And normally these days with banks, they tell you how easy it is to access it. You can access it from your app. You can do all this, that, and the other.
Yep.
We're going to offer all this other kind of stuff. Well, this is the commercial from 1991.
It's your idea, Australia, a place to call your own, the place to raise a family, the good old Aussie home. What a great idea.
I'm going to stop her right there. Raising your family in a home is probably the best idea, not on the streets. No, not down into a garage.
In a car.
In a car. You know, the back room of some abandoned laundromat. She's onto something there. Absolutely, Julie. Let's continue.
They were almost empty-handed, so they needed great ideas. From the moment that they landed, they thrived on great ideas. What a great idea! What a great idea!
What idea did they have when they landed?
Well, it's a politically correct podcast. So I probably can't say what I feel like saying, but they were there to claim the land for king and country and dump all
Not
the
to
crims.
book into their Airbnb and maybe grab a spot of lunch down there in Cronulla or anything like that
It would
at
have
all.
been very nice down there in the bay, though. 200 years
Absolutely.
ago.
What do you think, Julie?
What a great idea! Though it's only 50 years since St. George first appears, we've really shown the Aussie home is still a great idea. Now it isn't always easy, we don't say that at all, but with St. George to help you, one day you'll have it all.
Now I've got to stop that there. Okay, right. Now, 50 years of St. George. Back then, 1991, so that's like 60, 70,